Hi everyone, so I'm going to be doing a tutorial today, which I haven't done one of these in a long time, and I figured mainly that's because I feel like my channel is a little bit more based on products and a little bit more based on, the products that go into a look or the products that, make up a skincare routine or things like that. But I do, just feel inspired from time to time, so I'm going to go ahead and get started. I've already applied a moisturizer. And this is the Boots Rebalancing Day Fluid for oily or combination skin with an SPF of 15. And this is really, I find it really helps to control my oil throughout the day while still keeping the moisture levels in my face balanced, so the dry patches have moisture and the oily patches don't have any extra moisture. They have things to help control, the extra oil production. And I want to just keep it really light because this is going to be a summertime look. So what I'm going to do is apply an actual sunscreen now, and I'm going to be using the Shiseido Ultimate Sun Protection Cream SPF 55 PA++. And this is a pretty nice consistency. It's not a liquid like you'd think would be probably best for someone with an oily skin, but this does have zinc oxide in it, which is according to Josh Collier, and I do believe this, because this was a product he recommended and I went out and bought it and I've really been enjoying it. Zinc oxide is, I think it's pretty good for oil controlling. I think that's what he said, and I haven't found to be extra oily from this. So I'm just going to put a little bit of that on my hands, and I'm just going to evenly distribute this throughout my face. And if you'll notice, if you have a sunscreen with zinc oxide in it, that it might be a little white initially. And it might feel a little greasy, but once it dries down, the whiteness goes away, or it's not as apparent at least, and the greasiness is gone as well. This has a very odd scent. It smells like a man's cologne, which obviously I am a man, so that's not a huge issue for me. It just smells like a man's cologne or like a man's deodorant. So while we are letting that sunscreen sink in and dry down a little bit, I can just go ahead and talk to you a little bit about sunscreens. The SPF, this is just the little booklet that came inside the Shiseido sunscreen box. SPF, Sun Protection Factor, shows the level of protection from sunburn caused mostly by UVB rays. A higher number equals higher protection, and so this has an SPF 55, so that's going to be a pretty good protection. PA shows protection against UVA rays, the rays that cause photoaging. So those are like the dark spots and the sunspots that occur in people's skin, which I think has to do with the melanin production and the darkening of the melanin. PA is rated by plus, double plus, and triple plus, with triple plus offering greatest protection. This has PA triple plus. I'm going to use another layer of SPF just because I tan really easily during the summer, and I really don't want to get any darker than I already am. This is about as dark as I would like to get, and so I'm just trying to use as much protection as I can from the sun so I don't get much darker at all. So I'm going to be using the NARS Pure Radiant Tinted Moisturizer SPF 30 sunscreen with PA++. So again, that's another layer of protection. Now, since this has a 15 and this has a 55 and this has a 30, it's not like it's not like it's a SPF 100. It doesn't add up, it's just layers of it. So as the layers wash off, or sweat off or fade off or whatever, you're still going to have layers of protection underneath. So, I'm in the shade St. Moritz, which is medium 1, which is a little dark for me actually. I'm Punjab in the foundation, which is also medium 1, but this one is just a lot darker, as you can see. So this is just going to give me a little bit of coverage and give me a nice finish. So I'm just going to apply this on my skin. Really, if I don't wear that Shiseido sunscreen, I wear this as my main sunscreen because it does have a good 30 in it, which is good if you're just going to be, in and out all day. You're not going to be an extended amount of time in the sun. Even the neck. And since this is a little bit darker than my natural skin tone, it's going to give me a little bit of a sun-kissed look without looking orange or overly bronzed or anything like that. It's just going to deepen it and add a little bit of dimension. because in the parts where it's really sheer, you're going to be able to see my natural skin tone, which is a little bit lighter. So you're going to be able to see dimension on my face. And I just really love the finish that this gives. It is called Pure Radiance, so you're going to expect a little bit of a luminescent finish. Obviously, it's not anything extreme, but it does just give a really nice, naturally glowing finish, as if you've been out in the sun for a little bit and, you know, you've just sort of got that tiny little bit of glow on the skin. Now, typically, and I said this in my spring summer favorite products video, I don't really even care about having extra coverage. You know, I obviously have a little bit of hyperpigmentation and actual acne scarring on my face, and I mean, that doesn't really bother me in the summer because I don't even care. I don't care any time of the year, but just to look a little bit more put together, I am going to work in a little bit of concealer just to sort of bring the look together. So I'm going to use my Amazing Cosmetics concealer in medium golden, and this is really nice pigmented stuff. At first I didn't like it because the shade is a little bit more peachy toned than I would like, but since I've gotten a little bit darker, it actually works with my skin tone quite nicely. So I'm going to use an e.l.f. contour brush, which is synthetic, and it's got a domed stiff tip to it, so it's going to be really nice to blend concealer into the skin. And I'm just going to work from the back of my hand, and I'm just going to do little tiny buffing motions over my blemishes just to sort of help the concealer blend over. It's going to blend it on top of the blemish, but it's also going to blend around the edges so you don't have any harsh lines of concealer, you know, where concealing starts and ends on your face. So this is one of my favorite methods for applying concealer. And if you're doing something like this, it's probably best to get a synthetic haired brush, just because if you use a natural hair, you could risk getting little tiny hairs on your face that tend to fall off when they come in contact with something that's a little bit heavier than a powder, because natural hair brushes tend to be better for powder products. But it's going to be your call, but I would just probably recommend a synthetic haired brush. So I'm just going to conceal these little places that I need a little extra concealing on some acne hyperpigmentation, on any extra redness, things like that. And I'm only putting the concealer in the exact places that I need it. I'm not just putting it over my entire cheek, because if I don't need coverage and I don't need extra makeup in certain areas, then there's no point in putting it, because the less products you can put on your skin, the better. Now, whether or not that's necessarily scientifically true, I don't know, but I just feel, you know, why put on makeup if you don't need it? So there's that. Hopefully you can see it just looks a little bit more put together. The skin just looks a little bit more polished. And actually, while I have, well, before the product can crease, because if I raise my eyebrows to put on eye makeup, the makeup will crease, and if I squint my eyes or anything, the product will settle into my under eyes. So I'm just going to take this time now to set those areas, just to prevent, you know, any creasing. So I'm just going to take a little powder puff. I'm using Clinique translucent blended face powder, which is one of my favorites, and I'm just going to set underneath my eyes, just pushing the powder into the skin so that way it'll collect on any emollient particles there on the skin and absorb the extra oil. And then I'm going to also set my forehead where I get that creasing, just so that way I don't have to worry about having to reblend everything into my skin. Okay, now it's time for eyes. I think the best thing you can do in the summer is wear something that's going to be fun, fresh, and I guess summer appropriate. You know, take the chance to wear a little bit of bright colors or a little bit more color than you're used to, but also do something that you're not going to have to worry about. So I'm going to be using a long wearing cream eyeshadow, and I'm going to be using this Maybelline Color Tattoo eyeshadow in Fierce and Tangy, which is number 10, which is just a really pretty nice bright orange. And I'm just going to take this with my finger. Any finger that you use is going to be up to you. And since this is a long wearing eyeshadow, I don't need to use any primer. But what I'm going to do is just take this across my whole lid, concentrating the most color along the lash line, and then just blend the rest upward. Now you have to work quickly because once this sets and you try and blend it, it'll just start coming off in chunks. So that's one thing I don't like about this. You can also use a different color if you're not comfortable with orange, but I just think orange is very summery and it really just warms up the face. I don't need to set the eyeshadow on the upper lid because it is long wearing and it's going to dry down and set on its own. But now what I'm going to do is just take a little bit of Kohl pencil. This is from BYS, which is an Australian brand, and this is in the color Peacock 22, or number 22 Peacock. And it's a really pretty, gorgeous, like nice, it looks like a jewel box blue actually. And what I'm going to do is just run this very softly along the lower lash line, and then with my finger I'm just gonna smudge that out. And that's why I'm using a Kohl pencil, to make it really easy to smudge. And this we're gonna have to set because since it is a Kohl pencil, it's really great for blending, but also it's gonna mean that it might move around even after you are done getting it where you want it. But now what I'm going to do is take a similar colored eyeshadow, which this one is a little bit lighter, but still in the same color family. This is Smashbox Digital eyeshadow, and it's really, really pretty. It's a nice sparkly, more of a aqua color actually. This is also from BYS, which is their eyeshadow smudge brush. And I'm just going to take that on the tip part of the brush, tap off the extra, and then I'm just going to press this right on top of the shadow, just to set it so it's not moving around. I'm going to do a little bit of the extra eyeshadow on the very outer corner and just connect it. Yeah, that's nice. It wraps around and it brings everything together. There we go. So it's bright, it's fun, it's colorful. I'm just going to curl my lashes and put on some mascara. I'm going to use waterproof. So, I'm just going to apply a little bit. My camera just cut off, so I don't know what it recorded, but what I did was I used a little bit of Torrid blush from NARS, which is a really pretty coral with some gold shimmer, and I used a little bit of Laguna bronzer as well by NARS, which is a nice, ooh, let me drop it, oh shit, it's a nice golden bronze color with some sparkle as well. And since we've got the sparkle, I'm not putting any highlighter on. But then for lips, I'm just going to put on a little bit of, this is Cotton Candy Lip Butter from Revlon, which mainly offers a little bit of pink tint with some gold shimmer. It's not full color by any means, so it's going to be nice just to tie everything together. It looks fairly similar to Angel lipstick by MAC. It's just not as light. So if you have Angel, you don't need to go and get this. But yeah, so that completes the look. Let me take my hair down so I don't look like a buffoon. So that completes the look. I think it's summery. It's fairly bright. I mean, it's bright. I would say by most people's standards, it's a little bright, but I do think it's fun for summer, and since you're using longer wearing products, it could be good to wear to somewhere where you might be a little bit hotter. But I would say if you are going to be somewhere where it's kind of hot and you might be sweating, I would say skip the eyeliner on the lower lash line unless it's like a really long wearing eyeliner like a Makeup Forever Aqua Eyes or a Milani Liquify or even an Urban Decay 24/7, just because those are meant to last a long time and you don't want your eyeliner to melt down, you know, because of the heat, and you get, you know, the whole melting down your face beauty queen thing. Unless that's a look you want to go for, then, you know, do it. So I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm sorry I haven't been putting up any tutorials lately. I have so many product videos that I have in iMovie that I'm just editing and getting ready to get up. So you guys should be seeing those over the next couple of weeks. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this, and until my next video, I'll talk to all you guys soon. Bye!